Welcome to B&B Studios, the home of Central Coast Rugby. Let's get stuck into another week of opinions and oversights from Berner and Barthy as they bring us the latest news. Good chat, good footy, good fun. Take it away, boys.
Thanks, Tomo. Welcome back, everyone, to the B&B Unplugging Central Coast Rugby podcast. Round one on the weekend, Barthy.
Yep.
Exciting times. A lot of awesome occasions over the weekend, including the return, spiritually, physically, of Gosford to their home ground.
Red Devils, hey. Gosford Showground, Rugby Park, Gosford Rugby Park. Beautiful sunny day.
Back home.
Yeah, so, well.
And nearly got the win, which we'll get into as
What do we call it? Round 15.5.
Yeah, round 15.5 on the weekend. So round 16 this weekend. But some awesome games, really close games as well, actually.
Yeah.
Some interesting results.
What a beautiful day of rugby. What a beautiful day for rugby too, eh?
Unreal. I mean, it's taken now how many weeks to sort of get to it, but
4 weeks out from the semis and we finally get our first sunshiny day.
Ramp up with some good weather. So unreal that they could actually go back to play there as well. But yes, as we said, some close results. Also, Matt, Friday, big shout out to the Erina Razorbacks, or the Razorbacks, sorry.
Correct.
For hosting, especially Grangey, who's a big driving force of that whole thing. But, obviously Cunners and Clint and Nick Meyer as well for their fundraiser for Chris Smith and Matt King. Had that function on Friday and raised a fair bit of dough for those two. So
yeah, it looks like they raised enough money to cover their medical expenses, which is an outstanding effort. So congratulations to all involved. And
also, I do want to give a shout out to Carryong, Avoca and Terrigal, who were part of that as well. Some of the players going along and just the committee as well. So other clubs supporting other clubs, which is awesome. So yeah, a fair bit of money raised, and there's a lot of organisation that goes into those sorts of events with trying to get money out of people to show up to these things and, book guest speakers and all that sort of stuff. So, that was huge effort from those guys to get that done. So, mate, anything else?
No. Let's move on, eh?
Let's move on. It's been a day. Let's get into it. All right, Barthy, let's get into the results of the round thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. Let's start off with the women. So 2 games in the weekend. Hornsby defeat Warnervale 31 points to 5. Thoughts, opinions, oversights?
Well, mate, my Wildcat women, they're going to make it tough for themselves to make the semi-finals. Hornsby are a class act, though, aren't they?
They are. I thought that's roughly what the score would be. I think Hornsby had put a bit of a number on them. Warnervale 11 points off 4th. So they've got off Lakes, who are sitting in 4th. So
you're saying there's a chance?
I'm saying there's a chance, but I'm also not saying there's a chance.
Well,
based on recent form.
Mathematically, they can still make it, so I'm not giving up on my Wildcat women.
You can crunch numbers all you like.
Yep.
I just don't know if they're going to get there.
They'll be right.
And the second game, Terrigal Trojans. I did say that the Sharks hate mountains. That was a lie. Sharks love mountains.
They love mountains.
And they love the Carryong Mountain. And Sharkies get the win at 28 points to 24. And
they seem to have the Trojans measured, don't they?
They do. Last 2 games, they've got it.
Well,
so
actually, you know what? The last 3 games in a row.
I don't know if they beat them at Terrigal, did they? Did they win 3 games back?
I don't know. No.
I mean, it's a good story if you say yes.
I don't know. Someone will undoubtedly correct me. But I think the Avoca Sharks have won 3 games in a row.
Round 5, Avoca got done 31-12. Terrigal won.
Well, there you go. I retract that statement.
Retract that statement. So they played 3 times this year, and
I'm thinking twice this year and once last year. That's what I'm thinking.
You are
because they, Anyway,
3 times this year. Terrigal won the first one. Avoca with the last 2. But anyway, unreal game.
Every game an enthralling match. It's fantastic. It's such great rugby. 4
tries apiece. Sean George obviously continues ways of scoring tries, but 2 conversions from Terrigal, 4 conversions from Avoca. So
there's a difference.
I think we might get Ali Woutersz.
Yeah.
You got a new nickname which we'll introduce as well soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
For her, and we'll have a bit of a chat to her about how the game went on the weekend.
Let's get it on now. Well, Berner, joining us on the line is the Trojan Kryptonite, Miss Woutersz, one of the great rugby players of the Avoca Beach women. And I'll tell you what, they've got the Trojans women's number, haven't they?
They do. There are 2 from 2 against them this year.
Yeah, outstanding
victory.
The
last 2 games anyway.
Yeah, outstanding victory on the weekend. 4 tries apiece and goal kicking being the difference. Ali, how you going?
Yeah, good. How are you guys?
We're going well.
Yeah. How was the game? Give us your thoughts.
It was good. It was one of the hardest games I've ever played. It was so fast and physical. It came down to the last second. Taylor Welsh scoring an amazing try. So she pulled through for us and we got the win over the Trojans, which is always nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Pretty unreal. And also, Summer Witt, just looking here, a try and 4 conversions. And that was the difference between the two teams, Barthy. So
yeah, she actually scored a full field intercept try. I'm sure she'd want me to say that. So.
But even the 4 conversions compared to Terrigal's 2, that was the difference.
So has H taken on our advice and given you ladies goal kicking practice?
Yeah, well, we've finally got a tee, so I think that's a good start. And no more drop kicking.
That's fair enough too. Great idea.
So that's helped.
And so, mate, give us a shout out. Who else was playing well, and who else deserves a bit of a rap?
Everyone, the whole team, playing up at Carry On, being a Terrigal and Carry On game, so having no support there from our boys was a bit different. But the girls just really played for each other and did so well up through the forwards and then out wide to our really fast wingers. So game went exactly to plan, which is nice.
A good all-round performance. So, look.
Good all-round.
Mate, thanks for taking time out. We know you're in the middle of doing a run and just getting a bit of that extra fitness in. We appreciate it. Burner could do a few extra runs, or a run would be a good place to start.
Well, we were just saying that before. If you called me while I was mid-run, you wouldn't get a word out of me at all.
We appreciate you taking the time. And Kryptonite, well done, well played, and good luck next week.
Thank you, guys.
Well, young Burner, let's do the men, shall we?
Let's do it.
Thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry, the results of the round. Let's get Gussie on next week.
He's a hard man to track down, isn't he?
He's very hard. Every time I spoke to him, he says he's busy. He was never this busy before he started sponsoring the podcast, I might add.
Yes, it's very true.
So I was mentioning before what I might need to do off air. I was chatting to your mate about how I've got to have to get the PA to the PA's number, and that Gus is so busy. He obviously has a personal assistant, and why wouldn't you when you Gus from Erina Podiatry?
Definitely.
And I'm going to try and get his personal assistant's number.
Well, it's the only way to get through to Gus.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to get to the PA and get the PA to the PA to ask if Gus can join us on the podcast.
Well, it's the only way to get through to him. So it was a big change in a couple of years ago, mate, before he sponsored us.
Yeah. Look, mate.
Couldn't get a gig.
The business is booming. Renovations. Oh, mate. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
Thanks, Gus.
Warnervale Wildcats.
Yep.
42 points to 31 in what was a really tight tussle. I was watching this and keeping an eye on it online, the Hornsby Lions.
Okay.
And, finally winning 42 points to 31. Lots of tries and worryingly so, not many conversions. But, I think it was 7 or 8 tries to 4 and a good show by the Wildcats to get the victory, but also a good competitive showing again by Hornsby. But the good thing for the Wildcats is that keeps their momentum going. I think they're 3 from 3 now, or 4 from 4.
Yeah.
And they're really getting some momentum heading into the semis.
I think Hornsby were leading that towards the end as well, and and Warnervale just got home, which is great for them, knowing that they can win those games when it's in the when the game is in the balance. So that's unreal for Warnervale, and they keep winning, which is great for them.
Well, there's been a lot of ladder movement, which we'll chat about shortly. Next game, Gosford's Centurions game, Centurions match. So all the Gosford old boys got down to the first game of the year.
It's crazy, isn't it?
At Showground.
I mean, it makes sense. Round 1, they play at the home ground.
Right. Yeah. Gosford Rugby Park, and as we discussed last week, they had the parade of the greyhounds and camels and all that sort of as they went onto the field. But it was a great day.
And they nearly got the win.
Yeah.
It was so close between, I think it was a penalty goal. Conversion at the very end.
Yeah.
To win the game. So Lakes just snuck home in the end to get the win. And Lakes needed that so desperately, because if they wanted to be any chance, they had to win that game on the weekend.
23-24.
Yeah. They had to win.
Heartbreak for the Red Devils.
Yep.
But obviously the desperately needed victory by the Lakes.
What an unreal day that would have been if Gosford did win that. Coming back home for that first time, having your old boys' day, all those things lining up and then beating the Lakes.
A shout out to Chris Heap too. He played his 100th game
on
the day, so congratulations to him. And the Red Devils picking up a bonus point and obviously doing all their old boys and Centurions proud in what was a solid performance in a team that is desperate to try and make the top 5.
Definitely.
And, mate, the last game, an absolute bell ringer yet again, 19 points to 20. The Terrigal Trojans getting a victory, a last-second victory over the Carryong Wanderers. Remember last time they met a few weeks ago, it was a 19-all draw, and Terrigal just sneaking away with a field goal right at the end. And you know what? Let's get Adam Dankert on. He's the man who kicked the field goal. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get his thoughts.
Well, Barthy, on the line, we have the hero from the weekend's game, the Trojans versus Carry-On game, and also superstar this year. Currently, I think he's leading the Sid Noble is what you've told me, but we'll
when we go on alphabetical first name,
yep,
he's leading.
He is. Welcome to the show, Adam Dankert. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, boys. How you guys going?
Going well, mate. Going well. Listen, the game on the weekend. Just tell us about that. Obviously, a really tight tussle between two teams, and then we'll touch on the finish and how that happened.
Yeah. Well, the game on the weekend was basically nearly exactly the same as we played against them a few weeks ago. You know, just both teams just couldn't break each other all the way through to the game. You know, just keep cancelling each other out. Defense was just enormous in both teams, especially on the goal line. Just no one could really, really crack them until like maybe the end of the first half and then very end of the game. You know, it's just good old fashioned tough game of footy.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, obviously the Wanderers have. I alluded last time you played. I thought they had a little bit more to give than the Trojans in that 19-all draw. Obviously, it wasn't to be the case, but certainly on the weekend, scoring more tries, which is unusual for the Trojans to be outscored by their opposition, 3 tries to 2. Obviously,
which is even more credit to their defence.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just kept that up for each other.
Absolutely. Obviously, the penalty goal and your field goal being the difference.
Yeah.
How was that field goal in the end? So just set the scene for everyone with what happened, because it was a field goal at the end to win the game. So down by 2.
The field goal at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. So as Carry-On do, they scored a freakish end-to-end try with about a minute and a half to go, and we thought, well, that might be it. But we had time to get a kickoff in, and I put the kickoff through. The tall-piece Sarge ran right through down to the field and regathered, and we got the ball back luckily, and. We must have had to have put 8 or 10 phases together and a carry on until they created again. Just kept turning up and kept smashing us, kept defending their own line, and we eventually put like I said 10 phases together and got nowhere. But we were able to get about 22 out by the end of that sequence of play, and me being in the right place at the right time, received the ball and knocked it over. But again, for the game to end like that. It's almost as well, almost like it should have been ended as a draw.
Yeah.
Nothing to separate us.
Well, it's certainly exciting times, and both the Wanderers and the Trojans are playing exciting rugby, and it's great to watch. So, thanks, mate. We really appreciate you jumping on the podcast today, just to give your thoughts on what was a spectacular ending and your part in that spectacular ending. So, mate, congratulations. May the Trojans keep going well and your form continue.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you.
Well, let's get into the preview for round 16. 4 rounds to go. 16, 17, 18, 2.
I'll tell you something interesting. Well, not really, but I'm just going to tell you it anyway.
Everything you say is interesting in some way.
Around this time of the year, there's always a scramble at rugby clubs because you qualify for the grade 3 of the last 5 that you played leading into the semis.
Yeah, right.
Right? And unless things have changed, unless you've got two teams playing on the same day, you can't, whatever you're qualified. You can always play up, but you can never play down.
Yeah.
So it's interesting now. We've got 4 rounds to go. We've just played our 5th. It'll be interesting to see if round 1 qualifies as the last 4. I would imagine it would, the last 5. But the struggle now for the teams to pick a side, stick with it, or stick the best they can, because obviously you can only qualify 3 of your last 5 games is certainly what it used to be. So interesting times in all the rugby clubs, especially those who have competitive teams and who are trying to make the semi-finals.
Remember, it was always tough, and if your second grade was going well, your third grade was going well, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you want to drop down, but you can't drop down and go down to that and fall for playing higher grades. Anyway, starting with the women's, the Lakes host Orembong.
This could be Orembong's chance to have a victory. They won't, but it's a good chance for them.
They won't.
No.
Lakes.
Yeah. There's a lot of hope for
You're
you,
holding
Orembong.
on.
There's a lot of hope.
If Lakes win this weekend and the next game, if Warnervale lose, that's Warnervale done. Any mathematical chances that you got?
Mate, all I care about is Orembong getting a victory.
I care about that as well, but you just want it to happen. It could be this weekend.
Yeah, I don't like Karimba though, so I'd be happy for Orembong just not to win for the rest of the year.
Fair enough. Avoca host Warnervale.
Avoca Beach by plenty.
Yep, I think that'll be convincing, especially Avoca's side now. They're really humming along, and just looking through the team, and it just got some gun players in there, like a mixture of youth and experience there as well. They do have a relatively younger side, but they've been playing rugby together for a few years now, and I think they're a genuine shot. I know Terrigal has been the benchmark, and they've always been there, but Terrigal's always had the wool on them. But I think that Avoca could be Avoca's year.
Well, they got to keep this momentum. They're going to maintain this momentum, and that's the challenge. And I think they'll do that this weekend. So Avoca by plenty.
All right, on to Premier 1. Hornsby hosts Woy Woy. No, they don't. It's third grade.
You okay, mate?
Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Just trying to read out what's in front of me, but just not computing, not putting two and two together.
Right.
Avoca host Warnervale.
This will be a really good game.
A cracker.
Really, really good game. And what we'll do is...
So Avoca third on 45 points. Warnervale fourth on 41 points.
So Warnervale win this, they leapfrog Avoca.
They do.
What a great game.
They'll be in third spot if they win this game.
It's hard to back against Avoca at home, isn't it? It's a big day. They love playing at home, like all clubs do, and I know it's one of those grounds that they always put on a competitive performance. The Avoca Beach Sharks. If the Wildcats are going to be sort of really contest that semi-final, then they need to put in a strong performance against the teams like they knocked off Carryong 2 weeks ago, which is fantastic. I think they need to back that up again with another strong performance against the Sharks.
I think it's really important for them to win, Warnervale to win, because it's so close underneath. And like I said, they're sitting in fourth on 41. Carryong's on 39 and fifth. The Lakes are on 37. So if they do lose, there's every chance that those other teams, that they are playing against each other, but they will go up and put a lot of pressure on them. So they've got to win. Well, it's the same with Avoca though. Like it's that time of year.
Friend of the show and Avoca Beach halfback Mitch McGrath, I think he sent us a message pleading for us not to tip them anymore because they lost a couple of games. We finally tipped them. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. So we gave Avoca no chance at the start of the year for the first probably 8 rounds or something like that. We didn't tip them at all, and they went on a red hot form. And then we started tipping him, and they started to lose. So, Mitch, this one's for you, mate. Warnervale are going to flog you this weekend. I'm tipping the Wildcats by plenty. That's for you, Mitch. Wildcats for me, Barthy. You going to Avoca?
I'd like to see the side they put out, but I think Avoca Beach at home, yes.
Okay, all right. Warnervale by plenty.
What have we got next?
This is semi-finals. The whole
Already?
weekend. Well, the whole weekend. So we said that Hornsby and Gosford are out.
Yep.
And the rest of the games, like this game, Terrigal Razorbacks at the Haven.
Razorbacks at home have dusted Terrigal the last 2 or 3 years in a row.
This has got to be an error, but Terrigal's team is already in on Rugby Explorer. That's got to be against the code of conduct. You can't put your team in.
Team list Tuesday.
Yeah, come on.
This is going to be I'll tell you who they're going to miss. They're going to miss Joe Taylor out of the forward pack, the Terrigal Trojans. He adds a lot of starch, and we all know that the Razorbacks are such a good forward pack, and that's their platform of their side. And they obviously get it out to the wizard that is Jared Grange wherever he's playing, and points come. So I think it's going to be I think they're 2 really, really good games.
Razorbacks got over them last time they met.
Yeah. And
I think the Haven's a bit different. It's so hard to win.
At home, Trojans at home, but I think it'll be another cracking match.
I'm going to back the Razorbacks.
Yep.
I think that Joe will be a big out for them.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't have him on the weekend as well, it's class in the end that eventually got them there. But I think Razorbacks will offer something very different to what Carrion would have had on the weekend. I think Razorbacks inside. Flip of the coin. That's what's so good about these games this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lakes host Carrion.
Are they really?
I don't think they are. But they're they're hosting him somewhere around the ground. So this is 5th versus 6th. So as we said, top 5. Carrion on 39, Lakes are on 37.
Shit.
If Carrion win this, even if Warnervale don't win, it really leaves Lakes stranded at the bottom there.
No, Carrion. If Lakes win it.
No, if Carrion win,
yep.
It's gonna, and even if Warnervale don't win, it puts 4 points between Lakes and Warnervale. So that gap is sort of.
Yeah, but if Lakes win, they will leapfrog Carrion, and Carrion will be out of the top 5.
Yes.
Carrion will go from 1st to 6th in 4 or 5 weeks.
They could.
How horrifying for the Wanderers.
Considering they lost by a point to top place, you know what I mean? So.
But also how fantastic and competitive is this top 6.
Yeah, unreal.
If it's at home and it's their first home game of the year, I'm going Lakes.
So if it's at Slade, you're going Lakes?
Yep. It's a must-win game from Marshall. He's a good coach. He knows what's required. They got away. I'm going to say they probably didn't take Gosford. They didn't show Gosford the respect they probably deserved.
Yeah.
I'm just going to suggest that because they're a far better side than Gosford, in my opinion, when they're on. So they clearly weren't on last week, and I think it'll be Marshall will have them up, and they'll know the importance of this week's game. So I think the Lakes for me.
I'm going to go Carrion. I've got to get back on the horse, and I think that'll be this weekend.
Yeah, again, three cracking matches that are a flip of the coin.
I mean, that's the beauty of those 6 teams playing against each other in any order, at any ground. They're the games that you want to go watch. So this is the round this week. If you want to get out and watch a game of rugby, you can go anywhere. Go to Hazlett, go to the Haven, Terrigal, or go to wherever the Lakes is going to be playing. I don't think they're going to be playing at Slade. Hopefully they are.
Yeah,
I don't see how be dried out, but
I really hope they do too. But they deserve it. The poor buggers.
100%.
And mate, fire and brimstone, out they come. The first home game of the year, and again they must win to get into the semi-finals and to get into stay in semi-final contention. So they've got it all. They don't have more to play for than the Wanderers. They've both got it all to play for. But I guess that home ground advantage just tilts it a little bit in their favour, in my opinion.
It's actually 1st versus 2nd, 3rd versus 4th, 5th versus 6th.
And they can all leapfrog each other.
Just work that out.
How good.
What a round.
What a round.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby.
Favourite time of the week, Burner?
It is, mate.
I love you, pal.
Love you too, mate. Let's get into it.
It's time to get a bit of loving on. And friend of the show, Jackie Arthur.
Yep.
Jack's the treasurer, I think, or co-treasurer, or whatever he does at the Terrigal Rugby Club. He was at the function on Friday for the Razorbacks and fundraising a bit of money. And Jack wanted to just give some love for the stone thrower.
Who hasn't been around in a year.
No, and a big fan of Jack. I used to play with him when I was a kid, many moons ago. He's a great human being, and he politely said in the lovely way that he does, he's not sure if he loves the love section, but he loves the stone thrower.
I think next week we have to bring the stone thrower back.
Absolutely, stone thrower. You know who you are. You all know who you are. Let's get some stones out. Send them in.
For those of you who don't know who the stone thrower is, the stone thrower is all of us.
Yes.
And the stone thrower is someone who, and obviously you are in your rugby community, you're around your club, you hear things, you see things that people do, you hear stories. Just for example, we did get thrown a stone the other day that Sam Kenny actually faked. What did he fake? He had appendicitis on the back, so he didn't have to play against Carrion because it was too tough for him last time.
Gallstones?
Gallstones, I think it was.
Appendicitis?
Something like that.
Bruised toe.
Some sort of tum-tum issue. So Sam Kenny had a bit of a problem with that, and therefore and faked it to obviously get out of playing against Carryong. So they're the sort of stones that we really want. So the challenge is for everybody. Everybody's a stone thrower. There is one in particular, one arm that throws the biggest stones that we're hoping can wind up and sort of give us a few. But also, we're open for any next week. So we'll make the announcement now. The stone thrower will be back next week.
Yep.
And we'll have a couple of stones to throw around at people in the Central Coast. So how many stones there are depends on how much digging everybody does out there for us. Gets us some good stories.
Keep them funny, but keep them respectful.
Yeah.
While I'm continuing on with the love, because you know I love Burner. I loved the community vibe on Friday last week. We played, had a bit of fun, and we said everyone was a Razorback for the day, and we rattled out and gave away sort of Razorbacks apparel, and obviously it just so happened, I don't know how, but it just so happened that I think everyone from every club at some point in time that was there had to wear some Razorbacks gear.
Yeah, so I think who was it? So Joe Taylor got a Razorbacks jumper.
Yep.
So he was an honorary Razorback. Who else was there?
Mitch Jacobs.
Mitch Jacobs.
From the Avoca Beach.
Yep, he was an honorary Razorback. The best part of it,
Toddy Atkins.
And we don't know. And again, we don't know how these. It's just luck that has these sorts of things.
Luck of the draw. He won the European Speedos.
He did, and to his credit, rocked it.
I think
dropped his dacks in the middle of the room, got up on the chair, and just rocked it around. There's some footage floating around around that.
I think Lockie Peruk from Carryong won something as well.
Yep,
I can't remember, but anyway, it was great.
Again, a freak chance that other clubs are winning.
I don't know. It was just luck of the draw. So,
but it is awesome to see that.
I love that.
Thing of like we're a Razorback for the day and just go, yep, sweet, we're doing it.
And I was at the urinal, and Mitch Jacobs came alongside me. I wish I hadn't been at the urinal when he came alongside me, but anyway, that's a story for B&B After Dark.
That's a story for your imagination.
But I actually said to him, I said, mate, where's your Razorbacks jersey? Because he had his shirt on. I said, we're all Razorbacks for the day. And he goes, mate, have you seen how tight it is? And he pulled his shirt back. It was freaking skinny. It was like the super suits the women swim, or they swim in on the at the Commonwealth Games. So that. Big ups for Mitch. He squeezed it in, and he wore it for a while. Toddy, and a lot of love for all the players from different clubs for getting involved and supporting what was a good community cause.
Unreal. Is that enough love for a week, mate?
Yeah. You got any love?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that'd be right.
My love was for you. We talk about it or not. My love was for you shutting down Robbie O'Davis.
Oh, no, we're not talking about that. Not talking about that. No, we'll pretend that never happened.
Oh. Right, Barthy, that'll do us for round 16, mate. 4 rounds to go. Competition's shaping up. I think the finals for women's are set, I think. And also...
Except for the Wildcats.
Except for the Wildcats.
Sneaking in mathematically.
So you believe. And the Premier one, mate.
Come on, Wildcats.
It's absolutely unreal with the teams in there.
Yeah.
So really excited. And this weekend will play a massive part in everything moving forward.
I'm going to go as far as say I think every week for the next 4 weeks is going to have some sort of there's going to be some sort of juggling of the top 6.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to get a clear indication of what the top 5 will be.
Yeah.
I think we don't even seriously the top 2.
Well, Razorbacks can go first place this weekend.
Yeah,
Razorbacks can start topping the table from this weekend.
Yeah. And yeah, geez, it's good.
It's unreal.
You're a brave man to predict something this far out, I reckon. With only 4 weeks to go. There's so many things can happen. It's such a good competition.
It's unreal. All right, we'll get out there, support local rugby, support the canteen.
Yep.
Hopefully Lakes get a home game this weekend. That'll be unreal.
Fingers crossed.
For their club. Hopefully generate some money on the bar canteen, something.
Marshall Amopo, I'm looking at you, pal. I want you dressed to the nines.
Tag us.
Yes.
Also, as much as we can obviously push the content out on the weekends, anything you got, any photos you got, anything you put on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, make sure you tag us so we can share that around and keep building that love. We're building towards a really, really exciting final series. So let's keep pushing that as much as we possibly can and keep profiling everything on the Central Coast.
Absolutely. And keep an eye out for the stone throw on the weekend.
Yes,
see if you can see them.
Definitely.
Him and her, they. See if you can see them around.
See ya!